welcome back to Tactics Talk with Guido. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I do appreciate your support as always. And we have a new one here from Blazin Joe. J-O-H, whatever it is, from the clan TG, Tango Golf in his Chiha, Tier 3 Japanese medium tank. I don't usually do lower tier things, but every once in a while I like to delve down here and take a look at what's going on in the lower tiers. And interestingly, the Chiha is an actual tank that was actually used by military. So Japanese used it, probably considered one of the more successful Japanese tanks. A couple different designs of it, but we've got this one. And Blazin Joe, or John, or Blazin, let's call him that, is going to come up to the middle. So he is in a 5-10 battle. He's got some tier 4s and a bunch of tier 3s. Low hit point pools down here, relatively hard hitting guns for the hit point pool. So it's easy to be taken out in these lower tier games. You don't have a lot of wiggle room as far as hit points go to trade too much. So being very cautious here immediately. This tank has pretty good gun depression, as you can see. He's able to really use these hills. Hanging out here on the back edge and not getting too froggy by jumping in there and getting crazy right off the bat. He does have enough guys, I think, on the 9-0 line, and interestingly, this, for a low-tier game, this is more or less following what I would call the meta for this map. So the players here, whether by accident or by design, basically are playing it as you would probably see it more or less played in pubs and the higher tiers. And in fact, even with the requisite several people from each team wandering down to the beach on Overlord. There's an MTLS poking around over there. Taking some shots. Looks like the Locust has squirted through to the back there. He's getting chased down by a BT-7. But it was only the one tank. Looks like the Martyr, the T-28. Holy cow, there's 4 tanks all chasing this guy. Which would not be a really good thing if the enemy team was pushing in. All those guys that are stacked up, if they'd have come up and over and taken the center area right about now, there's not a lot that Blazin's team would do, but between the Lukes and him, they actually keep these guys busy enough that they don't really realize that they had a chance while that Locust ran around through there. Working on the Su-76 GFT. Holy cow, we're just sniping the top of that poor guy. Down he goes. T-28 goes down, and now those guys who were chasing the guy that got into the background, the Locust, have returned. Most things at this tier are relatively quick. Hits the medium. I don't know what happened there. I think that poor medium just plain old missed. Down he goes. Swinging back around to the MTLS. I thought this played pretty well up to this point, but we're going to, very cautious, but we're about to enter the time where caution is not really required, but that's going to be, continue to be the theme for Blazin here. There's a Sexton making a run for it, and we start to see the rats leaving the sinking ship at this point. Everyone over on this side is running away as all the green guys push in. And once again, I'm wondering, what is the M2 Martyr and Su-76 doing? They kind of sat there while a couple of their team were having a heyday over here shooting things up. Especially that Luke's is going crazy. Another shot with auto aim. And they're still not really up where they can support. They're sitting on the back edge, probably up on that ridge looking for shots, which they're not going to have any. And at least as far as that goes, Blazin is up front getting some hit points in. He's got a couple kills. I think I would have leaned to the right on this one, Blazin. That guy's not getting away. The Luke's is all over him. The hit points are all over here. And you've had a shot on this Type 95 for quite a while. It'll take you a while to actually look at it. Here we finally look at it. I had to stop well before that and started zooming in. Good news is that guy doesn't move. Down he goes. And it's clean up on aisle 2 time. So really, for my money, you just push in and start getting shots. Obviously, you don't want to roll in and die, but if you got shots, go get them. And there's several guys down here. We're going to switch over to that way, take a look there. And then we're finally going to look over here. And I think I'd have been looking there first rather than going after a guy that's a little further away and probably in amongst a bunch of rocks. You actually had plenty of shots on these dudes over here. I think you were aiming for the Toldy. Found the 4 GMC who was sideways. And we're going to back out. This is a pretty standard reaction for a newer player, or most players really, and me included. When you get hit, you start backing. But really, what was the best move there? It would have been to dive forward and right. And that's kind of what I saw when he moved in here. I said, okay, he's going to take some shots, and then his next move should have been dive forward and right, go down to that low area, cover up with these, and then come around here and look for a better shot, or maybe even gun depression up here as another option. But as it is, you kind of turn around, take a few more hits. Not turn around, but back up, take a few more hits. And now the B2. The next thing then, of course, here is there's only one tank. You have hit points. Just go try to get another shot. Let's say you only get one in before he machine guns you down. That's one more than you had, and it's not going to affect the game. And as it is, you're not going to get anything looking for this guy. You're just really trying to snipe through here. He gets torn up by your team. You could have been in there taking multiple shots. He's busy. And then we're going to go back and get on the cap. So not really understanding that whole idea. I guess just get some cap points because you figured he was going to die to all of them. And that's certainly an option then. But earlier on, exactly what I said is I'd already been in there looking for shots on that guy. And it is a B2, so go ahead and hit the 2 button. Give it some gold at the end game. You had a pretty good game, so it shouldn't hurt you too much. 569 damage, 15 spotting, and 52 bounce. Pretty typical numbers for a small tier game like that. But I like to put those up on occasion just so the newer players and guys who are going back down to grind up can take a look at some of the tanks. This is actually not a bad tier 3 tank. As tier 3 tanks go, this is one of the better ones. Alright guys, hope you liked what you saw. Hope you learned something. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you. Good game there, Blazin.